Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Rage Into the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Rage Into channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, Chief Envelope Licker for Critical Blast Logistics, Myopic Proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing, and I answer the phones for Critical Blast Consulting Company. Tonight, no Kickstarter, no Indiegogo, but still independently comics, independently created, independently distributed. We're going to go through Patreon tonight, which, still a valid option. And we've had people on here before who use it. Some love it, some don't. We're going to find out from these guys what they think of it. Please welcome with me to the show Sam and Trey of RAZE, the comic. I've got to put something. It doesn't feel right to just stop with RAZE.
Yeah.
How you guys doing, man?
Doing good. How you doing, man?
Yeah, we're doing good.
I'm ready to, I technically can't drink these during the day, even though I'm working from home and even though nobody would see me. My friend used to say that first Budweiser of the morning's always the best one. I wait a little bit later than he does. So you guys, okay. I'm an old timer here, and you're a couple of young whippersnappers. You guys are young. When'd you get into this comics game?
Oh man. Well, we've actually, little backstory. We've been writing and planning this for over 10 years now. We actually started in 2007, 2008. And originally it was supposed to be a video game, and things kind of fell through on that end. So we thought it'd be a little bit easier to do it as a comic. which
Still hard.
yeah, not too easy.
As we're finding out, it's not that easy.
Yeah,
But
there's a
we've been
lot
doing
to it.
this we've been doing this comic for about 4 years, I would say. We've actually done a lot of reproducing for issue 1 because it didn't really fit our standards. So it took us a while to kind of gain some traction with artists and ideas. And yeah, and here we are now.
First one's always the hardest. Definitely the biggest learning curve.
Yeah. So you guys are both the writers on this one. You're not, neither one's the artist, right?
Actually, Trey is now the artist. So for issue 5 and moving forward, he's going to be doing all the art, but he's also the writer on it. And yeah.
So were you, artistic before issue 5, or did you say, I'm going to learn how to draw this stuff because damn, it's expensive to hire somebody?
So I drew a bit as a kid. Never anything like this. Maybe a few headshots here or a character drawing here, but never anything like multiple pages or backgrounds or anything of that sort. So I stopped drawing maybe when I was like 13, 14. And then over the course of doing this and, going through artists, I'm like, all right, well, back in the saddle we go. So it looks like I have to hop back on and start having to learn how to draw. So I started doing it, and then as time went on, I'm like, all right, we'll try and see who else we can get. But I'm still kind of learning the process, so I'm still kind of teaching myself. But I'm starting to get the hang of it slowly.
Yeah, because it's not just drawing pictures, and it's not just drawing a bunch of pictures to the story. You got to get a flow going between the panels and from the page to page. It's a comic art is a sequential art, and if you're going to do it, get a copy of Will Eisner's storytelling and sequential art. It will it's an invaluable reference book for that kind of thing. And I say this as somebody who can't draw stick figures. But
same.
well, Matt Faisal made a good career out of drawing stick figures in the late 80s, early 90s with Cynical Man. That was a comic book of nothing but stick figures, and it caught on and it sold. So you're up to issue 5 right now. You've finished through issue 3. Those are the 3 that are available, and you're selling these through
4 issues out right now.
Oh, okay.
So we
dropped. These are all on Amazon.
Yeah, so all on Amazon. So if you actually search RAZE Comics, it should be the first couple, and you can go to our authors page, and you can actually see all 4 issues together. With the whole Amazon of bringing in Comixology and liquidizing that as the Amazon storefront, it's a little bit more tricky to kind of find us because I think we're a little bit swept under the rug. Obviously, all the mainstream comics you're going to see on the front page, so you obviously got to do a little bit of searching. But to segue, we actually do have some of his original art on Patreon. So if you opt into our Patreon page, you'll actually see kind of where we started. Which is pretty cool.
I found your Amazon link and I just threw it out in the chat. So if anybody wants to click over to Amazon and take a look at your guys' product, we're going to bring up the first issue of it here to just kind of scroll through in PDF form. But before I start scrolling, tell me what's the elevator pitch on this?
You want to take it away?
That's a loaded question. I guess I would say this comic was a passion project that we've had for a very long time. We're pretty much taking everything that we love as not just comic book creators, but fans of comics, fans of horror, and we just kind of put things that we love into one story. So you'll get a chance to see really something of that is as much a part of us as it is like comics itself. So like you said earlier, we've been writing the story for well over 10 years, so we just really wanted to get a very immersive and new kind of dark storytelling to people.
So this is a horror story, and from what I've been able to glean just from having read the 3rd issue, and I'll get more now that I'm going to be reading the 1st issue along with you here, it comes to me like Lost on a bus.
So somewhat. So we're huge fans of the zombie genre. We are huge fans of horror stories in general. Just like he was saying, I believe it would fall more into Walking Dead meets Noir kind of storytelling, but really reinventing the zombie genre is what we try to focus on, because these are not going to be your average zombies. This is going to be something that I think nobody has seen before. At least the idea of it. Maybe it seems a little bit similar,
Right.
but
Think under the umbrella of like still zombies, but you have like infected, because that's the big thing is zombies versus infected. Which route do you go? So that was a big conversation of, do you want to do the slow dead ones? Do you want to do the fast ones? So think of more of like the I Am Legends, the Last of Us kind of stories where it's more of like this virus as opposed to just walking corpses.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for zombies that retain all their memories, even though they have to eat brains. So they know how to drive cars and shoot guns and operate ATMs.
I mean, we had the Romero film that had where he picked up a machine gun and just started firing away. So,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. We need more of that. Earth's Best Entertainment, by the way, has kicked off an early
beautiful
shake and bake moment. So he has taken the StreamYard link and he has gone out to Amazon and he made a purchase. So you guys will see that. And like I said, that is our shake and bake moment of the night.
Shake and bake, and I help.
That's awesome.
We always love it when the chat helps out the creators who come on the show here and check out their stuff. So I love this cover here. I'm gonna shrink this down some if I can figure out how to work with Adobe. Yeah, I told Adobe that I knew what I was doing with it. And then this again? Okay, here we go. So yeah, these zombie hands, real sharp, red crisp lettered logo going down here, dripping blood, of course. This lets you know right away what's going to be happening in this book. Now, I'll be honest with you, reading the third issue, not only being lost from the fact that I didn't know what happened in the first two, it's what I had to work with.
Yeah.
I didn't see any zombies in it. So I wasn't clued off to the fact that this is a zombie apocalypse kind of story.
Yeah, so that one's a slowed down issue. So you're kind of going to get a difference in this issue. It's not going to be the same thing. I can promise you that.
All right. Well, you got a dedication to your mom here.
Absolutely.
She's your editor.
Well, she was the one who filtered out all the bad ideas that we ran by her before we ever wrote the comics.
Was your family into comics? I mean, did they say, yeah, this is a great comic, we're going to do this, or was she just like, oh, I wouldn't know. I don't know if I'd do that.
She would just be like, wow, this is different. And I'm like, yeah. But no, my family, they weren't really much into comics. I know growing up as a kid, I had like all these like Marvel comic books / coloring books. And I would always just like have my little brother, who's our storyboarder now, which is insane. He would do like a lot of like, I'd find a picture online. I'd be like, hey, draw this. This looks cool. And he just like, me and him would just talk about like the character and how much we loved it while he's drawing it away,
Very cool. Yeah. So you got somebody doing storyboards in the family. It's the family operation.
Oh, absolutely.
Trey, you got any family assisting on your side?
I don't. So I grew up in a family of all women. Not that women don't like comics, but I grew up in the 90s. So at the time, it was a little bit more uncommon, I would say. So I was really just my personal interests.
Yeah. So you were probably grabbing up all those image books in the 90s then.
Right.
Somebody had to.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Black and white. I like the tones actually, because for this especially, this a zombie book, a horror book, black and white's going to get a lot more out there. And I really like the faces that you guys get in here. This is the same artist on one that was doing 3, I would guess.
This is him right here. So the first half of this whole issue is Trey.
There you go. Okay. So I thought you weren't the artist until number 5. So you started it and then
I started it. As time progressed, of course, you have a few things going on in life. So as I got busier, I had less time to really put into this because I was going to work, coming home at like 9 o'clock, and then I would be drawing until 3 a.m. So halfway through, we realized, all right, we're kind of slowing down. So we just hired someone to pretty much do the whole comic book. But as things went on, things changed. But the first half will be mostly me.
Were you working digitally or more of the traditional pen and ink?
I was working digitally. That was my first time drawing digital. So I'm more of a traditional artist, like pencil and paper is where I've always learned how to draw. So this was an adjustment. I mean, we had like the laptop, the tablet, the stylus, the glove, everything like that. So it was definitely an adjustment. So I think I got more of a handle on it now, but you'll see as we go through these pages.
All right. Mike Walters already liked and shared, and dropping by to say hi. Hello back to you, sir.
What's going on, Mike?
Everybody who's, when you leave here at the top of the hour, Mike will have the mic stand queued up over on his channel where he dives into the niche pop culture news. This is Thursday, so yes, it's still a news night. Friday nights, he goes back to the golden age of comics. Mike is new to comics. He came into it from cartoons. And, if you have a friend who comes to you and says, hey, I want to start reading some comic books, where should I start? Everyone's got a different answer. Mike had his own answer. He's like, well, you start with the very first comics. So he's gone back to the golden age and has just been reading famous funnies and action comics, and just he's taking people through them one at a time. he'll never run out of books because it's
no, absolutely not.
So where are they starting here? This is a group of people in an SUV or a van or something.
Yeah, so you're actually in a sedan right now. So the first page was supposed to paint the scene. So you're seeing all those cars on that bridge, and you're kind of going into that white car that's at the closest to the screen. So it's kind of like showing the vehicle and then zooming in real quick to show everybody in the car.
And there's a couple of different vehicles, I guess, because... Okay, so yeah, they're stuck in traffic going across the bridge. And this is definitely an adult book. Okay, we got our rated R language going on.
Yeah. Definitely a little bit of a mature audience for this book.
Yeah. Now here's the one thing I'm going to throw this out, guys, because I'm an editor. I'm a book editor, and I've seen this happen in third issue, and now I'm seeing it happen in your issue. So as the old ladies in our church always said, I'm telling you this in love. whenever they say that, buckle down because it's coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Word balloons. We're reading left to right here, and her word balloon is coming after his word balloon. I'm just saying that watch for that. Try to arrange things so they're a little, if you can't switch around because you can be crossing the streams, Egon, at least try to get them one above the other. So that she can say thanks for the ride and he can say no problem, rather than what we're reading here. But I do like the characters here. Now, we haven't gotten names for these characters yet. Well, okay, there's Sarah, but I didn't know their names in the third issue, and I only know Sarah's name at this point. I do see that you're using, and I like this, you're using organic introduction methods rather than the what was it, Scott Pilgrim method, where it's like, here's a bubble above my head telling you my name and tells you how old I am and what I do for a hobby. So this is much better. Ian starts out as an a-hole, and he stays that way. He stays that way through issue 3. So and there's a lot of stuck in traffic here. I'm feeling the frustration of these people being stuck in traffic because I feel like I'm stuck in traffic with them. That's a good thing, but it's also from a comic reader's perspective, where's the action at? Because I'm on page 8 and nothing's happened. We're stuck in this thing. I think that might be read differently if you've got it as a graphic novel. You got everything together because then you control your pacing a little more.
Oh, absolutely.
But if I scroll far enough, they're going to tell everybody to back up off the bridge. Yeah, that's easy to do. Yeah, sure. We'll just put it in reverse. Everybody at once. But we do get the idea here that there is something bad going on because they have been told, return to your vehicle, stay calm. When the police say stay calm, panic.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Do the opposite.
So, am I going to get a zombie here? Am I going to get a zombie here? I'm going to get a zombie here. Here we go. All right. So, nice. And he's just pounding away because you got to crack that shell to get to that brain.
Oh, absolutely.
That's right.
All these Romero zombies are like just chewing into him like, no. you can't bite through that skin. You got to crack it open and scoop it out like a monkey's brain in Indiana Jones. So why are there zombies here?
Well, this is kind of me and him always talked about is this is not 2003 to 2008 where origin stories are necessary. So for our idea for this first issue was always to just throw people into the mess and just to see how crazy it was, and then to really show what our character stories are like after you see the mess.
So
Okay.
The breakout has already happened, essentially. We're just kind of picking up where it's really starting to become an in-your-face problem.
So they're like, they're freaked out. They don't know what's going on or why, but there are zombies and they're killing each other and eating each other.
Mm-hmm.
And, when your cop says stop right there, you mean eat you? Sure. But as much as they're freaking out, I love how calm they are. They're just like, are we going to be okay? Like, no, bitch, turn around and run. But they're just like, and the thing is, that's exactly what we would be doing during a zombie apocalypse. The only thing I think that they should be doing differently there is they should be, instead of saying like, are we going to be okay? It'd be like, are we going to be okay? because somebody's going to be streaming that shit.
Yeah, right.
And okay, so here's the mass panic. Finally, everybody turns around and runs, tramples each other. Ian's still being a dick. And there's a lot of what am I trying to say about the line work here? It's very clean. It's almost this is almost like an IKEA diagram of furnitures and bridges and stuff.
Step by step.
Yeah, it's like it's like very little screw up to it. It's very precise, very draftsmanship. That's what I'm trying to get to. Like when I was doing drafting in high school, you draw a nice little house. And it was perfect.
Right.
So I guess this kind of comes also from drawing digitally though, because you get a lot of, you can tweak the curves and stuff. So there's not the organicness that comes from using the pencil. We're like, that curve's slightly off a little bit, but it looks good because it's got that dynamic feel to it.
Right. You got your line tools, curve tools. So it really just comes, like you said, very, very clean.
Yeah. But when stuff has to be jacked up like this car, there you go. It's jacked up. So the zombie apocalypse happens. These people are thrown together, and then they are kind of stuck in the car for a while, like for issue 1 and issue 2.
Yeah,
that was my. When you said downtime on issue 3, I'm like, so if I had to review the plot on this, it's 7 people get in an SUV. It stops. They get a tow truck.
Yep.
I was like, okay, I don't know if I can get a series out of that, but seeing what they're running from and getting a little bit more backstory, I can see that. Might be able to condense still a little bit more, but this is your guys' first comic, right? I mean,
yeah, correct.
Okay, So you've done 3 issues. You've got 5 in the can. You've already done more than 90% of the entire world of people that say they want to make a comic, because you've gone ahead and you've done it.
Yeah.
Just dive in and try to start swimming. Sarah's dialogue always bugs me, because he's like he's saying, "Grab my hand," and she's like pondering it first, like, "What if I miss?" Like, this does not happen in horror movies. When the guy's gonna grab my hand, you're like, if you miss the first time, you just try again until and then you get dragged up there and they grab your ankle and you kicking at it, and but no, she's like, oh wait, I don't need to grab your hand. I can just now wait a second. Did she back up and take a running start at it?
Yep.
Okay. See, I don't get that from here.
Mm-hmm.
I get it from the shoes. Okay, if I look at so it's like, so I missed the transition, but okay, now she's like, help! Like, he watched you run back and run toward. He knows you're coming. He's right there. I'm sorry, I'm in this T3K in your guys' comic. And
you're okay.
It's all right.
Fine. We do the same thing with movies and TV shows.
Yes, especially zombie ones.
Oh yeah.
Earth's Best. You're right. I kind of slided the Scott Pilgrim method. It worked great for Scott Pilgrim because it had never been done before, and it was like, oh, what a novel way of getting characters out there. But now it's being done for X-Men. And I was like, we don't need it done for X-Men. we're fine. And okay, so here's the kid. He's going to become part of this crew. This young boy, his dad, and he's a bit of a mystery himself, I believe, because everybody it takes 3 issues before they start asking that question. Like, hey, by the way, where'd this kid come from?
Right.
So they're overturning the bus. These are zombies. Are these zombies?
These are infected still.
Okay, because it looks like some of them trying to climb, but they tried to climb too late. They're turning the bus over. This isn't good because all there is on the other side of that bus is a river. I think. Maybe they're crossways across the bridge. Okay, so they're just building a barricade. Ouch. So there's no real resolution, right? I mean, wait a second. I thought her name was Sarah. No, that's Victoria. Okay. Sarah's the blonde, right?
Yep.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Sarah's also got great dialogue because she's always the one who's just like Victoria. She's calm in a crisis. Like in issue 3, she's like shaking hands with people. So, oh, by the way.
Yeah. Right.
And she just like telling them, hey, what's your name? Zombies are chasing. Hey, what's your name, dude? and now let's run because the zombies aren't smart enough to go around the bus. I don't think they can. It's kind of a tight squeezer, isn't it? So they find transportation, kind of, sorta. And here's where I get a little lost. So Ian knows these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Is these the guys that he hit?
Yeah, from the beginning.
Okay, so Ian rear ends these guys, and then he's like, "Hey, can you help me? Let me in your car." And that's fade to black. Okay.
Black.
So this is less zombie apocalypse I'm seeing, and more strangers interacting with each other in a zombie apocalypse.
Correct.
More of a character study.
Yep.
So let's talk about the characters then and how you developed each of them.
Oh, absolutely.
So a lot of these characters we really took inspiration from, or we try to take inspiration from real life as we possibly can. So Ian was inspired by his stepbrother. Shout out to Antonio. Not that Antonio was a dick at all.
Okay, just saying.
just some mannerisms, the way he jokes about things is how we came up with the character for Ian anyway. And then the same thing for, I wouldn't say all the other characters, but it really just kind of reading the script over and over again. How can we make them different? What makes them separate? So when we first started writing this, they all seemed like very one note. So it was really just like rewrites and rewrites just to try to get them to be somewhat different, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So did you ever, is this the number of characters you wanted? Because sometimes it feels kind of crowded.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's the thing. We went in this with very high ambitions, and so we have 8 characters in this story, and we did that for a reason. Because when we first started this project, we want to be like, yo, this world is so crazy. You need 8 people to survive. If you don't have numbers, like, you're dead in the water. Obviously, a lot of comics only have like 1 or 2 people. So it's been, I think it's been a work in progress on trying to really capture, like, going into different characters and different arcs and giving everyone sort of that limelight that they deserve and that story arc that I think is going to, like, kind of capture a lot of audience's attention. It's like a pizza that has everything on it. You're each going to get a slice, and you're going to have a bite of something different. And that's either going to, like, resonate with you, or you're going to jump to another character and be like, oh no, I don't like this one. I want someone else.
Yeah. Plus, if you find out that it is too crowded, it is a zombie apocalypse. So you can always let the zombies pick the olives off that pizza. It's like, yep, they're gone now. Now we're down to 7.
And then
my next door channel neighbor has picked up the key from under the mat behind the kitchen door and has joined the stream. Pops Van Zant, how you doing, man?
What's going on?
Look, I see something I haven't seen before. What do we have here?
This is RAZE. This is a I've read 3. They're up to 5. It's going through Patreon. It's being funded on Patreon and then being sold on Amazon.
Okay, that's why I haven't seen it. All right.
Yeah.
You know what to do, RJ. Direct them my way. You know.
That's the thing, guys. Once you, because I haven't seen you guys on any of the channels. I don't know if you've been on many streams talking about this yet.
No,
did you make the rounds?
We're really trying to get our name out there. So we're going on socials. We're going anywhere that will have us. We're completely independent. So we're on the East Coast, and we're in about 20 stores, but we physically drive to these stores and put these issues in these stores and try to work with all the different comic book stores that want to have us. So wherever we go, we're going to send it.
Have either of you heard of the Comic Related Madness on Facebook?
No.
Join the madness. That's all I can say. Just join the madness, bro.
that will get you on Pops Van Zant's channel.
All we do is promote indie comics. That's what there's 2,500 people in the group, and that's all we do. I have a YouTube channel just like RJ does for promoting indies. I do it on Twitter. I do it on Instagram. I do it on Facebook. I promote indie comics. So when you're done with RJ, he would tell you how to find me.
Okay,
now
beautiful.
You got to come join the madness.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, sounds good.
All right, I'm gonna get out, let RJ continue. But yeah, man, come on down to our house.
Absolutely.
We will pass you guys around like a fatty. I ain't right.
I'll send them your way, man.
All right, thanks, RJ. Talk to you later, man.
See you, man. Yeah, this. Pops is like if Wilson lived next door and you could see his face over the cow. You guys are doing improvement. He pops in like the zany next door neighbor, man. I love it.
That's so awesome.
That's the thing about StreamYard's teams now. We're taking advantage of that. I still got to take advantage of all the stuff they're giving us now because they've given us music.
Oh, that's awesome.
We can be talking while the music plays.
Yeah, so about the guy that got beat to death.
Yeah. might want something a little bit more, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
I use it to play real low, almost inaudible. whenever I'm playing somebody's video, because guarantee every time I play somebody's trailer for the first time, I'll get a copyright notice from YouTube. But I noticed if I play this music like real low, I can't hear it, but the algorithm can.
Oh, wow.
So it's like it hears music, and music is like, oh, this song doesn't exist in our database, therefore it must not be a copyright problem.
That's one way to get around it.
Yeah, it works. So yeah, we're talking about characters. You got 8 of them. It's a full squad. Do you have plans for them all, or are they just sort of developed? Are they? There's 2 ways of doing this. There's 2 schools of thought, and I take this from an interview I read about Neil Gaiman when he and Dave McKean worked on something together, because it was a very loggerheads kind of school of thought, even though they had worked on Sandman for 50 issues in a different capacity, because Dave McKean is a very let's bullet point this thing down here. Let's find out where the characters are going, who they are, what they want, what they're going to do in every chapter. And Neil's more of, let's throw them on the stage and see who fights it out. So there's a method of saying, let the characters reveal themselves to you as the story goes along. Or there's we have a very tight schedule to keep here. Make sure he dies by issue 7.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's kind of we've like literally like we bought a whiteboard for our apartment, and we're like almost every night we're remapping them out and making sure that whenever we're going, because we're kind of going off of the story of like you're gonna see different arcs, and in those arcs you're gonna really just see how these characters either like what their mindset is, what trauma they've been through, what physical altercations, like and we're kind of picking them apart and seeing, it's also like almost like a generator, like who's gonna blend well with this person in this arc.
But to add on to that, it's kind of both of the options you said. So when we first started writing this, as I said, they all felt like one character, like one entity, because it's only 2 of us. We're trying to get outside of our head and be somebody else.
Yeah.
But as we kept writing it, each character, it felt like, oh, would they actually say that? This person feels like this. This person feels like that. So that's when they first started to branch off. After the branch off, we say, okay, well, we know this about this person. So based on that, his story can be this, this, and this.
As a writer, I would say that a really good exercise for getting to know your characters like that is to interview them. And I mean, like just literally sit down and start typing, and like you'd be doing a Q&A with them. Type up a question. Doesn't have to be about the story. It doesn't have to be about anything. Just talk to these imaginary people and see what comes back to you on the screen. And you'll be surprised at what you reveal from your inner psyche about these characters, and they will become a lot more real and a lot more fully fleshed out. And then you just keep those aside as your character Bibles, and that way you can say, well, let's refer to this what we talked about with Joe, and see how is this really how he would react if a zombie chewed his foot off? Yes, it really would scream. But what's the long-term goal for RAZE? I mean, this is Walking Dead had several issues, but it still had an end to it that nobody saw coming. Literally, it was like, oh, by the way, that's the last issue. I'm done.
So we've been creating this story, like I said, for 10 years. So we have so much mapped out, and there's so much story to tell, and so many, I think, different, interesting storylines that I don't think anything I've ever read or anything I've ever seen. And the idea is really to go through this apocalypse with all these different characters, but there's going to be twists and turns that even us as writers don't see. And the long-term goal is to be in every comic book in the every comic book store in the United States and overseas. We want to think as big scale as we possibly can, just because we see this as a very big, our own big universe that we spent almost 2 decades creating.
But in terms of the story, there is an end goal. So
yeah,
it's going to be a continuous long series. So it's not like short stories, and like some comics have like different continuities and different canons, like most of like your superhero comics, but it is one continuous big story. I don't know how many issues that would be, but it is one just consecutive story.
Gotcha. So it might be 50 issues, might be 75 issues, but when you get to the end, you know where the end is.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. You guys are doing this on Patreon. How does that work?
So yeah, we're, like we said, we're a little bit new to this game. So the way we saw it, at least, is we wanted to do Patreon because mostly because of how they work out, like the whole monthly, like Patreons come in every month. We're giving content. We're having this thing like every week we're trading off with like Throwback Thursdays, because we've got a lot in our RAZE vault of stuff he's done that nobody's ever seen. And our goal there was to kind of create like a continuous community where people can opt in. Like one of the basic tiers we have is we have our own Discord where you can come and talk to us, the creators, and give us feedback, say what you like, say what you don't like. Just to kind of
much nicer to have that happen in private Discord than here in public in front of everybody, isn't it?
Yeah. Trust me, we've had people be rude to us in public. It's not any better. But no, just to create a community, and we're trying to like a lot of the cool things we're doing on Patreon is we're giving you like inside looks of the production behind the scenes, because I think that's where a lot of people kind of have a hard time, especially new people getting into comics. Is I think it's kind of like therapeutic for people to see like, we're just creators too, and we want to show you our process, because maybe you'll learn something, or maybe you'll see like, oh, they do it that way. That's interesting. That sparked an idea. And, kind of breaks down that fourth wall from like creator to product.
Yeah. So, flipping that around, what creators and what books did you look to draw process from in creation of RAZE?
You want to go first on this one? Or you want me to go?
If you got your answer.
At least I would say a lot of the inspiration comes from some of like the noir comics I've seen. Like I just recently picked up Criminal Insanity with Harley Quinn and Joker, and I've been reading that, and it's freaking nuts. Like the visuals, the way it feels tonally, it's just like, I don't know, it's crazy to see. Like there's a lot of like full pages, but it's like one of the first comics I think I've seen in like, whoever does the environment is insane, because it feels like you're in a real city. Like one of the issues I just read, and I'm kind of hopping around, but it's like they're in like this alleyway, but it feels like not like a generic alleyway where you see two walls. It's like you can see like a company store right outside. You can kind of see like how the sidewalk looks, and like one part of it being like broken off, which I think definitely inspires you to create the visuals and go as hard as you possibly can for these readers, for them to get excited.
Details, isn't it?
Yeah. But I would say, and a lot of like Dragon Ball Z, when I was growing up as a kid, that's a lot of that I read back when I was a kid. Just like the way they did the visuals and the fight scenes, and like even though a lot was going on, you could still follow it going like panel to panel. Which I always thought was cool.
Yeah, even though you had to read it backwards.
Yeah.
If you got the OG stuff. Trey, what about you? What comics do you look at for saying, this is the way I want to do my process? Or the ones you've learned something from?
So as of recently, or as of late, I'd say like he was referencing like DBZ, I've read more of like the Japanese mangas now. Because I find that at least the ones that I've read have been a bit more visceral, I would say. I mean, I know like American comics do that now, but like when I was reading them as a kid, I read like Spider-Man and Batman and Superman. So they really weren't going around ripping people's heads off. So, when I first started reading the mangas, they were a bit more raw and, disturbing, like the like the Attack on Titan ones. I read those, and those were
You need your decapitations. I got you.
Right.
Yeah.
Whoa, we have a super fan super chat in the house here. Dario Jurek says Sam and Trey are the best. Definitely showing love for them and an amazing comic. They never stop the grind and always deliver. Thank you, Dario. Thank you for the $5 super
Dario.
chat. I really appreciate that.
much appreciated.
And yeah, keep supporting these guys because, like I said, I'll rip on the art and the storytelling technique, but they're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's and don't stop, guys. Don't stop doing it because I don't want to be the one guy who like, hey, we got a book out. Yeah, this could be better. Oh, I'm not getting good at this. I quit. Don't do that.
No. We're from the north, so assholes are a little bit more common up here.
It's good to get an outside perspective for people watching who have an idea that they want to do. You need that outside perspective because even as writers, if we're in the room throwing ideas back and forward, your idea is only as good, or not only as good, but you need to understand how other people perceive it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the only way to get better at something is to keep doing it, not stop doing it and come back later. You'll come back just as just the way you were before. In fact, you'll probably have lost a step or two. Just keep doing it every day. Make more comic.
Oh, absolutely.
Nefarious is here. Welcome, Nefarious. Glad you're here, man. I'm here from the clip. Okay, I said something that'll show up later, I'm sure. I usually do. Yeah, you're in the north where you have plenty of assholes. I'm in the south where we will bless your heart into the
I know. Oh, I know what that means. I got this on the girlfriend.
Yeah, that's like I said, when the church lady says, I'm telling you this in love, brace yourself.
You're about to get roasted, granny style.
Absolutely. So where are you guys going next with the story here? I mean, don't tell me where you're at in 5 because I don't want you to spoil things. We've read the entire issue 1 here on stream, and somebody's going screenshot.
Right. So I think
if you had to do that, guys, I feel so sorry for you.
Okay. So I think issue 1, you kind of see, like we talked about, the madness, just the raw reaction of these infected on the bridge. The second issue is you're going to see that kind of confrontation between now introducing new characters and how they already interacted on the bridge. And like, let's not forget, there's on that issue, they're still on the bridge. So like, you don't know what could happen next. So the third issue is really just like them getting away from the bridge, spoiler alert, and just, kind of interacting. Like that was kind of like a slowdown issue of like, we don't know what to do next. And we didn't want to, the way I think you might have seen our storytelling is comics are really fast paced and like they'll tell 50 years in 10 pages. And the way we didn't want to do it that way, we almost feel like we want you to be there for the simple moments of like, it's almost like you're the camera guy and you're seeing them like get in the car and get out of the car and have a conversation on the side of the road. And we felt that was important, and that's just kind of how our story goes. And then the third issue, as you've read, leaves on a huge cliffhanger, and that actually kind of teases our next location, which is where our really big first arc is going to happen.
Now, I will say what I saw that I did like in the third issue, and not saying I didn't like everything, just saying, was the way you transitioned from the two guys in the car yelling at each other, and then the girl gets out on the side of the road, and the guys are still yelling off panel. That conversation continues as the new conversation starts out. That was well done. I like how that was pulled off there. Pacing and timing can maybe be done a little bit differently. Again, go to Will Eisner's book on this because he is the master of showing how panels can be used to control the timing. He has this masterful page here where he's got just 3 panels above each other and the guy's talking to somebody, but the foreground is a kitchen faucet and there's just this water bubble forming on the faucet and then falling off. And you get the timing is just perfect because you know how long it takes water to form.
Absolutely.
So you know how long that scene took. No, the cliffhanger is not the junkyard. The cliffhanger was, don't spoil issue 3. I was talking about the various. Hey, I got these guys coming on.
Don't worry, issue 4 is out, so it's not. I mean, it's open to the public. I definitely think if you start at 1 and you go all the way to 4, you're going to kind of see how our storytelling changes, and obviously how we're going through all of it.
Again, keep doing it, and it'll just keep getting better. That's the that.
And
That's not really. It's the big secret that nobody knows. If you keep doing it, you'll finally be doing it. And doing it well. Some white person's in the chat. Welcome, some white person. You're here a lot. John Walsh in Pursuit. Hale Brothers. Is it, how many issues does it take them to
call AAA?
To call AAA. Okay.
3.
Yeah, well, first you got to find a working phone, and then you got to get what you get. It's the hold time that takes an issue and a half.
Well, no, you have a little button in your car now. You can just push that.
Yeah. It's the please hold and 3 pages of music.
Right.
All right, guys. Is there anything else about this series that you guys want to make sure everybody knows about and give them more of a reason to go to that Amazon link, which is in the chat? Patreon is linked below. I will take the Amazon link and I will put it below the video afterwards so people can find it easily on replays. But what are they going to see in RAZE coming up here, and make it exciting, make them want. They have to get this book now.
So what we have coming up, we're really getting into the nitty gritty of what this series is. So to kind of build off what he was talking about with where we're planning to go, is what you guys saw so far and the issues we have so far was kind of like a little brief introduction of what this series will consist of. We wanted to show you we're here for the gore, we're here for the character moments, we're here for the funnies, we're here for all of the above. So that was a little brief introduction. So from here on out, we are getting nitty gritty. Nothing's off the table. It's going to be a one-of-a-kind story, one-of-a-kind adventure, and we really hope that everyone is ready for it.
When's the next issue going to hit Amazon?
You don't have to ask this one. He's on the he's heavily on the production.
He's the distributor.
So we came out with 4 quite some time ago, so we're still kind of letting that one ride out a little bit. We do anticipate maybe sometime in May. I can't really say an exact date, but that's kind of where we're
just say early summer.
We're leaning towards. So
early summer. And to piggyback off him, this shit is gonna be dark. If you want horror, you're about to get it, because the visuals that I've seen from him are times 1,000 from issue 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, and this is where the story is going to pick up, and just buckle in because it's a hell of a ride.
Cool. Do you guys have some kind of a schedule for books? Like, we do one every 3 months, we do one every 5 months.
Yeah, so that's what we're working on. So this year was actually him hopping on production because we've had problems with artists either joining and then leaving, and so it's trying to find the proper timetable and timeline this year, because we are going to put out at least more than 1 issue out this year. We want at least 3 this year, and next year we're going to be ramping up. We want to hit at least 4 or 5 the next year coming in. We're going to keep on ramping up till people are turning their heads and being like, what the crap is this? And this is awesome, and I need another.
All right. Yeah. Don't stop. Keep going. Guys, Sam, Trey, appreciate you guys popping in here and bringing RAZE to the viewers tonight. Glad we were able to get at least 1 sale for you. We can't track them like we can with Indiegogo.
Oh, no.
More numbers roll. Hey, the timpani drum roll here. But again, appreciate you being here. Get the next book out. Come hit us up again. We'll go over issue 5 or 6 or whichever one it is.
Absolutely. We'll come back whenever you guys want us. All right.
All right. I will get you the information for that other channel so you can hit over on Pops and get a stream going over there. Folks in the chat, thank you so much for being here tonight. We don't have a show without you, as I always say. Otherwise, I'm just an old man with a microphone, tree falling in the woods kind of thing. So we're appreciative of you being here. And as always, while you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.